Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Finding Your Authentic Self. My name is Kyle Griffiths, and I am excited to get day 2 of this webinar started. I'll be bringing on Malcolm Nair here in just a minute, but before I do, I want to run down through a few things that I would like everyone to keep mindful of. Remember to be early to these webinars so that you can reserve your spot. It's very important. This is a live stream webinar and it has an international exposure. Second of all, please mute your microphone on your device so that your background noises don't become a distraction to others during the presentation. We also encourage you to ask questions. If you have questions that you want answered, please post them in the chat board and we'll get to those questions at the end of the webinar. We're also asking you to continue to appreciate your life. Last night, we talked about what your true self was, and it was kind of a bombshell, I'm sure, for a lot of you. To have someone tell you that there truly is life after death, and he came back to tell us the secrets of how we can learn to live with our inner self. We want you to expand your experience. So with that in mind, we're going to be kicking off day 2 in just a second. And we want you to continue with what we covered yesterday with today. So with that, it's my pleasure. I want to bring on Malcolm. Malcolm, if you're out there, can you please join us?
Hello, how are you guys? Okay, so last night we were wrapping up how to direct our mind, how to go to sleep, how to command and demand, and how to truly ask for a true potential. So I hope you guys enjoyed that subconscious reprogramming. And I hope you guys slept in that imagination. Okay? I gotta change something here. Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right, so can we hit mute, guys? All right, perfect. So today we're gonna start with understanding what to do when we wake up. I know that you guys must have, been excited, maybe confused, maybe did not get to sleep well. A lot of these transitions can start happening when we start to compel ourselves, and especially when we direct our subconscious mind. Our mind starts to become aware. Now we start to be in this wakefulness. And it must have been hard to focus on the sleep, just to be peaceful. I understand, if you were engaging with me right now, maybe Kyle, you want to explain what it was like for you the first time you had to direct your mind before bed and what that was
Yeah,
like?
I'd be more than happy to do that. It was, first of all, it was kind of shocking. The concept that or the fact that I am a soul in a physical existence was a lot for me to take in. And I went through the processes of saying, okay, I want my mind to quiet down and I want my mind to focus on this. But yet when I laid down, of course, my mind was just racing with the new knowledge that, yeah, there really is life after death. And I became kind of confused, not overwhelmed, but confused with, okay, what does that mean? And it took a little while for that to go away. It took a day or 2 or 3 for me to finally get into the mindset so that I could truly start to tell my mind to calm in the evening. I don't think that that was something that was just going to be grabbed onto right away. Being told something like that for the very first time can surprise someone. And so it wouldn't be surprising to me if the audience was, very confused last night, very excited last night, wondering, okay, now what does that mean? And what's next? And that's what's exciting about what's going to be happening here for soon.
Okay, thank you, Kyle. I hope you guys were able to sleep without your devices. I hope you guys had a beautiful sleep. And I know this morning you didn't have much direction of what to do next. So that's what we're going to cover now. First thing in the morning, when you wake up, when you're consciously being aware. So there's this thing before you open your eyes, okay, before your subconscious kicks in, before your mind kicks in, what happens is we become aware. Conscious, we become conscious, okay? So when we're sleeping, we're subconscious. When we're waking up, we're conscious. And what I want you guys to understand now, please get your pen, your paper, your journal, and write this down. First thing in the morning, so before bed, you guys know your nighttime ritual. Okay, that has to be consistent for at least 7 to 21 days. Okay, having the subconscious reprogramming, and then directing the mind, commanding and demanding yourself of more, going to sleep in that imagination to your fullest potential, your desires. And then when you're consciously aware, the first thing you want to do, most people, what do we do when we wake up in the morning? What's the first thing that you guys do? Usually people wake up and they're like, oh, I'm tired. I don't want to wake up. I got to go to work. Got to live that same routine. Oh, I'm still upset with my wife, or my husband pissed me off. We wake up with our subconscious mind. So the whole point of last night was to release, not to sleep with our emotions inside, to let go of that, and to hopefully wake up. But now we have direction. So what we got to do is say thank you. The first thing we got to do is say thank you. Thank you why? Thank you for what? Thank you for being alive. Thank you for being able to breathe. Thank you for the fact that I have hair. So we're not waking up with our thoughts and our emotions still stuck inside. We're waking up consciously aware and with this notion of a knowing. So we have to direct our mind from the subconscious to the conscious. When we wake up first thing in the morning, we got to be like, thank you, wrap our heads around how our sleep was last night, how we directed our subconscious. Wake up with that knowing that that's what we did, with that awareness as you take your first breath in the morning with gratitude and love and harmony and balance and thank yous. Feeling good, feeling great that we have a breath. Feeling good that I can smile. Feeling good that I am in control and in direction of my life. I am taking direction and ownership and accountability of my life. We don't want to wake up with emotions inside and let the patterns of yesterday override us. Okay? So the first thing in the morning, wake up, be mindful, be aware, wrap our heads around how our sleep was, let go of the emotions, and say thank you. And then what you want to do is play affirmations. And we're going to provide that today, a list, a document with all the audios that you guys need with options. So you want to listen to audio. The reason why you want to listen to audio is because it's very important to fill our minds and reprogram our subconscious mind with I am love, I am forgiveness, I am great, smile, I love you, I forgive you. Okay? So that's how we want to start waking up every day. Not with our phones, not with distractions, and not with emotions. Okay? So, Kyle, do you want to add anything before I go on to the next slide?
No, I think there's a few times. Well, I'll throw one thing real quick out there.
Yes.
So when we first wake up, we are aware. We're aware that we're waking up, and that moment of awareness, that is the inner part of us. And so once that inner part becomes awake, and then we're awake of our consciousness, we're aware that we're getting up. I think this is where you're telling us to take a pause for a second, release any kind of stresses that may have come along from the evening, and then start the day? Or are we just supposed to start the day? For example, let me give you an example. When I did this, the very first day that you told me to do this, I walk up and I thought I had to have this mission of, okay, let me start repeating all my affirmations to myself. And it just became mechanical. It wasn't meaningful. And so to have a meaningful wake up period, you told me to stop being so mechanical and to feel it, to wake up, become aware of that initial point of awareness, understanding that that was the inner being inside of me, and that everything else from that was either my conscious or my subconscious. When I finally was able to accept that, Malcolm, my mornings were much more peaceful, and my direction of what I was going to do became less methodical and more purposeful.
Right. Perfect. Well said, and I'm glad that you are doing it correctly. That's right. You want to be present with yourself. You want to enjoy your waking hours with love and gratitude of who you truly are. Try to use this waking hours with inner peace, joy, and harmony, and try to stay away from distractions and spend the first hour, 30 minutes to an hour, with yourself. With yourself. That's peace of mind, clarity, self love, walking around your house, going to the washroom, doing your morning ritual, playing affirmations on YouTube. Use it as the tool it is. Don't let it take advantage of you. Don't check your notifications first thing in the morning. Don't focus on what you got to do, what you should do, what's all this, what do I got to do with the day. Enjoy your divineness. Enjoy who you are. Respect that you are a spiritual being, that you just woke up and you're present and you're aware of your mind, body, and spirit. That's right, Kyle. People, everybody, you have to be present and mindful and aware and conscious. Don't be living an unconscious life. All right, Kyle, do you want to speak on being
Yeah.
in the receptor mode and asking me and challenging me what you were doing in the beginning and how you were authentically being vulnerable and you were doing it incorrectly? Speak on your routine, what it was like used to. I asked you, what's your morning look like? What do you do at night? What do you guys do in the morning? And you told me, first thing I do, I wake up and I pray and I'm asking for more peace. I'm begging. I'm asking for more love and relax and calmness. And I go get my tea or I go shower. That's what most people do. When they wake up in the morning, whether you pray or you don't pray, you just have these intentions of what you want. What did you do? What was your personal experience before going through the process?
You know, it was interesting because I thought, of course, that, I was supposed to pray as I had been instructed to do, as I'd been trained to do through, other religious practices that I've had throughout my life. 60 years old, you have an opportunity to have different practices. And so you asked me to give you a small example of that prayer, to say that prayer. And when I started that prayer, you said, "Why are you begging? Why are you begging? What are you again, Kyle? Who are you again?" And you told me about the power that I actually had. And you wanted to show me the process of using that power, what the true aspect of command and demand was. And you were showing me how, when I said, how do you hold your hands? And I was like, well, sometimes I clap some, sometimes I make a little finger, up like this. Sometimes I've got my arms crossed. And you told me about the process that you had learned from studying things from thousands of years. And that I thought was amazing. And so that is what I want you to share with everyone is the demand and the command, the difference between praying and the difference between demanding and commanding something.
Right. Thank you, Kyle, for sharing. So I want to cover true prayer. Okay. I never prayed my entire life. I always related it to the culture scape, family, religion, traditions, and I was not that person. I was kind of told what to do and how to do it, and for thousands of years, the world tells us, people pray, right? And when you see images of people, you see people praying and begging and, please, please, my life. And they lean on their bed and ask for, forgiveness, and they repent and say, I'm sorry. Um, See, the thing is, why people tend to pray for years and years and decades after decades and they see no results, that yes, they have compassion and love and respect, but we keep praying, right? We keep begging. So there's a hack here that you guys can take away from the higher power, okay? So communicating with source, our higher power, and commanding and demanding is, when we go like this, when we're talking to source, when we're talking to God, we go like this, right? But then I'm going to teach you guys a concept that we can start to be in the receptor mode and start to receive our signals or prayers that we're sending out to source and to God. Okay? So begging versus gratitude and receiving. Okay? So when we want to receive, we don't want to beg. We're not beggars, right? We are powerful beings. Okay? We're super manifestors. We are creators. We are creating our reality. Okay? So we don't want to talk about religion. This has nothing to do with religion. This just has to do with the power of belief and the power of receiving. In order to be a good receiver, we have to be good givers, right? So I'm going to share with you guys another method, okay? You see how everyone's hands are open? Now we are receiving from the higher power. When you hear, well, my palms are itchy, people would say, oh, that's receiving. You're getting, in what do you call it? Superstitious. That's money coming. That's some divine power. When you open your hands or your palms, you can feel the energy vibrating around us. When we want to, raise our vibrational frequency, we get all these energies. When you open up the palms, you're now in the receptor mode. Now we are receiving our prayer. Okay? So gratitude, love, and harmony, not begging and pleading. Gratitude, love, and harmony, and sending those signals of what our desires are, and then receiving. Okay? When I started to do this, I started to attract. I'm going to create a program about specifically the things that I manifested strategically. And through this process, whatever you guys want, whatever you guys desire out of life, whatever that is specifically, if you want to get a pay raise, if you want more clients, you have to feel it and believe it, okay? We are source, okay? Energy. So we have to feel that power when we call it into existence. Now, I don't want to do a meditation right now, but a quick exercise would be just having that trust. When you place an order in a magazine, when you go online on Amazon and you order something, you're ordering that item. It's on its way. It's coming. You trust and you believe and you let it go. You surrender. You kind of detach and you go on with your day. It's on its way, and that's how we have to believe and trust in our prayers, in our belief system, that what we want to call into existence, it's been received. Okay, and now we just have to walk away with this trust and this faith that it's on its way. Don't come out of it with lack and concern and reopen it up and be like, oh, is it coming? When am I gonna get that job? Oh, I'm not sure. And then digging into it and asking. You gotta tell the universe that you're certain and you believe and you trust, and thank you. I know it's coming. It's on its way. I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't know when. I leave that up to you. And just have this belief, have this notion. We have to change the way we feel about the way we want to see the changes in reality. Okay? Like I was talking about yesterday, about attraction and about manifesting and about affirmations, we got to reprogram ourselves on a daily basis. This simple slide is just simply just to receive, be in the receptor mode. Kyle, is there anything else you want to pull out of me? Any challenging words? Anyone want to ask questions in the chat? Because we're gonna leave some room open for some answering some questions. So feel free to challenge. But
I,
Kyle,
I want to give you a little bit of a testimony because you went from Kyle, stop begging, because that's what I was doing, right? I was begging. And you said, be grateful, have some gratitude. And I started being grateful for waking up. Not that I expected not to, but that I appreciated the fact that I was waking up. I was grateful for that small moment of truth where it was like, wow, it's right now I'm that inner being before my mind would start to creep in. As my mind started to creep in, I took that moment to start doing the receiving. And what's interesting to me is as soon as I started doing that, the things that I was asking for, as soon as I stopped expecting and just knew it was going to happen, they actually started happening. And I realized that the power was truly there. You also told me one time, when I'm holding my hands out, because I approached you and I said, do I hold my hands out straight in front of me? Do I hold my hands out to the side of me? And you said, hold your hands to where they're comfortable with your palms up. And with my palms being up, you instructed me about the feeling of the energy and the sensations that I would have in my palms. So as I'm even sitting here now, wanting to send out love to every single person in this community and let them know this is real, my hands have got that sensation. So I think for all of us, when we're listening to this, when we go through the motions of what you're suggesting, having gratitude for who we are and the experience of life, and then receiving and having gratitude for that which we receive and are going to receive. That's power. You told me that was the two-way line between my inner source and source. And that was the way that we were to communicate. And that worked. It really works.
once you see it in your mind, once you're conceiving that imagination, that vision of that vehicle that is materializing. I didn't know. I was driving a 10-year-old car. I thought, I felt good. I wanted, because I understood you got to feel good with what you have, not feel bad, right? Over 10 years ago, yeah, I used to feel bad and I would be ungrateful, right? If that's how you're feeling, change it now and start to sit in your car like it's the car of your dreams. And love every other car. Don't challenge and debate and compare. Say that car is beautiful too. Even if it has rust and holes, I love it. I love that car. Don't pick and choose. Just be grateful. And when that starts to happen, when you start to be grateful for what you currently have, I materialized in my mind the leather seats, The steering wheel, I felt it. I felt it as if it's different. It's a luxury vehicle. It's something I deserve. I wanted chargers, wireless chargers, massage chairs. I wanted the whole 9 yards, and I had to get rid of the feeling like, is this even possible? Am I joking with myself right now? Like, am I like, yeah, you have to do this. And when I did that, I'm driving a 2021, almost $100,000 vehicle right now in my life for the same price of what the budget would have been for lower class and lower trim vehicles charging the same cost. But I got the highest trim, the highest model, the and it's not about boasting and bragging, it's about what you deserve. Walk around the vehicle you want. Start to drive around the communities that you want to live in. Start to drive around the houses and the visions you want. You deserve it. Take a family trip one day for an hour after work. Tell your husband, get up. Tell your wife, get up, let's go. We're going. And drive in that millionaire neighborhood. And feel it, embrace it. Pull into their driveway and then drive away. Do it. That's how I manifested this house. Visualize your clients. If you're a business coach, your clients spoiling you. That's what I do. Be a good receiver, but be a good giver. You have to have the process of elimination. Okay, you have to be able to build some feng shui in your home, declutter. You have to minimalize. We're not going to leave this earth with clutter and hoarding. So dissipate it now. When you pay for something at the grocery store, don't be like, oh, I hope it approves, or oh, I just went over my budget. Don't feel those feelings when you're putting your card into the machine or tapping. You're paying the world, you're paying this industry, you're paying the store the abundance and the appreciation and the love that you have and the richness that you have. Send those signals. Don't send signals of lack. That's what we're talking about when we talk about the whole prayer. Look, you don't have to resonate with prayer if you're not religious. I'm not. But I just understand that there are divine beings before us. There were people on this planet before us that understood this, that reached enlightenment faster. How do we quantify our experience in life, guys? How do we quantum manifest? How do we quantum jump? How do we quantum leap? My life was 20 years backwards. And I quantified the experience of my life and I propelled myself in a timeline where I was, but where I could have and where I should have and I would have been. And ever since that moment when I died and I came back and I made a decision and I compelled my direction in life, and what I'm telling you guys to do, I'm teaching you, I quantum leaped from here to here. And it's possible for each and every one of you. We have to release, we have to forgive, send those signals to our enemies. I had to forgive my rapist. I had to forgive my molester. I had to forgive being homeless. I had to forgive my teacher. I had to forgive my parents. I had to forgive when I was abused or being abused. We have to forgive. Kyle, before I move on to the next slide.
I think that you're touching on the true art of what manifestation is. Because if we continue to exist thinking that what is okay right now is all we're going to get, it's what we're going to get. Mm-hmm. And what you're asking us to do is to receive gifts and things that we want in our life without limitation and know that we are going to receive them.
But
And
it's
that's the act of manifestation.
But people are going to walk away with this saying, well, it's not working. It's not working. You don't understand. I live with this person. I live with that person. Or I have all this baggage going on in my life. That's why I'm saying all the nitty gritty, dirty, nasty stuff. We have to release this. This is true coaching. I can't give you the goodies and make believe stuff without the realities of what you guys are going through in life. People have gone through stuff that we have not even released from the past. We think that we're moving on and we're doing good in business, but what are these holdbacks? What are these pauses in life? How come we can't quantum jump? How come we're not experiencing the manifestation faster? How come it's slow, slow, slow? How come things are blocked? Because we got to do the release work. That's why I said all the nasty, nasty stuff. Whatever you are going through in your life, whatever it was, whatever feelings you're going through, whatever you're carrying, the burdens, the doubts, the emotions, any whatever it is, I don't have to say any more nasty stuff. Those are the things that you got to release. And tomorrow, well, I'm going to wait. Kyle's going to present that, but then you guys are going to release that and all of this will make sense. Do the morning ritual, do the subconscious reprogramming, do the daily work. Wake up in the morning as you're walking around your home. Listen to meditations and frequencies and affirmations and positive motivational videos. Fill your subconscious mind on a day-to-day basis with all of this as you release and let go and live in harmony and forgive and bless your home, bless the things, change the narrative, change the way you look at things, then the things you look at will change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. So when you look at the thing that you don't like, change the way you look at it.
Excellent.
So affirmations, binaural beats, hypnosises, motivational videos, what all of this does, why you're creating new patterns and new habits and new rituals, is because of what it does to our mind and how it regulates our emotions and changes our vibrational frequency. So when you see here beta brainwaves, alpha brainwaves, theta brainwaves, delta brainwaves, gamma brainwaves, there's been studies and tests and research and so much blessings are being done in the world of science, in the world of quantum leaping, quantum jumping, in the world of DNA restructuring, in the sense of healing wounds, healing past traumas. Utilize it and leverage it. You can sleep in these frequencies. You can wake up to these frequencies. You can play it throughout the day to meditate, to pray, to command, to demand, to cook food. You know, listen to stuff constantly to manifest, to attract. Okay? Now, I would highly suggest and recommend that you guys research and understand the levels of these brain waves and then to strategically apply it into your day-to-day life. It's very important and how they're being used. So when you sleep, play a particular binaural beat with the subconscious reprogramming affirmations or hypnosis. And then as you're waking up, play the frequency with the affirmations so you can raise your home and your awareness to that vibration. You can send new signals to your brain. Okay, and as you're forgiving and you're letting go and releasing all of the old and bringing in new thoughts of harmony, love, bliss, joy, forgiveness, these are the highest levels of awareness and frequencies in the universe. So we got to utilize and leverage. This is called hacking. We can hack our mind, hack our body, hack our spirit, not just with cold showers, not just with ketosis, not with high fat, low carb. There's things you could do with the mind, body, and spirit as well. Is there anything else you'd like to add there, Kyle?
When you were teaching me about frequencies, I mentioned to you, there's so many different kinds, and what should I be focusing on? And you mentioned that the beta brain waves were great for when I woke up in the morning. And
Right.
you encouraged me to pick out things that had the beta brain waves. And then you asked me to pick out things with the gamma for during the day, so that when I was going through the day, I would have some frequencies, some music playing in the background that would be in that gamma ray. And that worked. I mean, it really works. And it's extremely powerful. So I can't say enough about it. I do like the beta and the gamma.
Beautiful. Yeah, I love that we have the opportunity to go back and forth, to debate, to challenge, to ask questions: how, why, what. That's why we opened up the chat to everybody to ask, well, what about this? I'm going through this, and how do I do this? Be open to everything and attached to nothing. The way to actually surrender is to be vulnerable, to sit in that uncomfortability, to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, there was a question I think that someone had. I just noticed they were like, "Well, what kinds of things was I getting from or listening to when it had those in there?" Like what we shared yesterday, there were some links that we gave to some YouTube things to listen to, and those were designed to be for the delta range, the deep sleep and restful slumber range, that did some positive affirmations for you to help change your mind from negative to something positive. When you're selecting the different brainwave patterns, the binaural beats, whatever frequencies that you want to use, YouTube, of course, is a source. And there's other things that you can find if you were to Google it, other manufacturers of those types of things. I enjoy new age music. So most of the things that I have are tied to, beautiful flute music and singing bowls and all different kinds of things, but you can get brainwave frequencies in a wide variety. And I would just be mindful to everyone that when they're doing that, select the frequency for the type of moment you're trying to have. If you're going to be doing meditation and some deep relaxation during the day, then the alpha might be something that you would want to choose and find it in that frequency range.
Thank
I
you,
hope I
Kyle.
had answered the question.
Yes, you did. Now, as you're waking up, as you're becoming conscious aware, you're utilizing frequencies. As you're walking to and from your bed to your kitchen or to your washroom, you have something else playing in your home, or you have it with you. When you go downstairs, maybe you want to change it to a motivational video. Maybe you have affirmations playing constantly because we are continuously being programmed. We're continuously being operated by our subconscious mind. So we don't want to work for our brains. Our brains are on autopilot. So when if we're not making our brain work, our brain is making us work for it. So it's going back into the habitual patterns, like, oh, I'm feeling like this is happening, this, I don't know, it's getting cold outside. Just be grateful. I wake up every day, whether it's cold, raining, snowing, just be blessed. When you walk from your room to the kitchen, play something else that you need. I don't know what you all need specifically, but I do know that you can be strategic with what you're selecting. Play something all the time. Reprogram yourself from the programming that life has done to you. That's the message we're trying to get across. It's baby steps. It's simple and it's not difficult, but it takes the work and the effort and the discipline to do this on a day-to-day basis for you to create this new reality and to start attracting and being in that receptor mode, and for all of the little things and the tips and tricks to start actually working. And yes, we are going to get into more stuff. This is just the beginning. We're taking it slow because when I bombarded my clients or Kyle with all the information, we felt that it was too fast for everybody to just give them everything that I can give you guys all at once. It's overwhelming. So just relax. You enjoyed your night, enjoy your morning now, and be consistent. Doing this and create a new cycle, a new pattern, and you're going to start to be more connected to your awareness and who you truly are and what you truly are.
Yeah, I agree with that, Malcolm. It took it some time. I was one of those that pushed back for a little bit because it did take some time. You know, my programming, if you will, that I had was, I have to have it now, right? Instant attainment. And it doesn't work that way. And you told me to slow down and to take my time. And I also gave you a challenge about affirmations because affirmations, I realize now how important they were. But initially, to start off with, I was like, I got to hurry. I got to get dressed. I got all these different things going on. I don't have time to love me. And you push the frequencies, you push the routines onto me. And now I can honestly say that I go around, sometimes I don't even have to pay them because what's going on in my mind is I'm loving today. I love who I am. Isn't this great? Isn't this fun to know that this physical life is just an experience, and looking at everything around my house is just positive, positive, positive.
What
And
are
I
you
think,
eating? Right.
yeah, what you trained me to do and what you taught me how to do by doing it in these little steps and working slowly and gradually, but constantly having something positive around me at all the time, it changed the environment. It changed me. People around me started realizing they weren't even realizing it. They were changing themselves because I had changed. And that internal vibration that you talked about, I started to feel it. I
Yes.
started to sense it. And that became the self affirmations that was inside. And all of that came from what you're suggesting. When I'm brushing my teeth in the morning, I'm looking at myself and appreciating what it is that I'm looking at and appreciating that I'm there. When I'm getting dressed, just appreciating what it is that I had and the fact that I can get dressed, and constantly reminding myself of the affirmations and treating my body in a positive way and not being rude and ridiculing myself as everything that's out there wants to dictate to us. There's just negativity everywhere because negativity sells. And so you were like, push it away, get it away from you. If it's not serving you a purpose, get you something that's serving you a purpose.
What are you feeding, right? We have that negative us and that positive us. And what's overriding? What's driving us? If the negative side of you is coming up and saying, oh, I'm not good enough. I don't know if I can keep up. Let's just sleep in. I got to play this. I'm got to walk and be mindful. You have to say, shut up. When a thought comes up that's negative, you're aware. You're not the thoughts. The subconscious mind that's coming up, you got to push that away. And you got to start feeding the positive. And you got to say, I'm doing this. I got this. And shut it up right away. Play it. Tell your brain to shut up. Tell your brain what it's supposed to do. So when you play that by force, or when you get up and challenge yourself, when you push yourself, when you're feeding yourself strategically with the positive, it outweighs the negative, starts to go away. And then as you sit there and you're doing all of this, your subconscious mind will come up and be like, oh, you're amazing. I love you and you're great. And you're like, what? What's going on? Because it starts to work, it starts to happen. We got to take accountability and ownership of our life. And when we start doing all of this, all of these reminders, your life will change. Everything will change. The people around you will change. Your children will change. Your wife will change. Your husband will change, because they will. And if they don't, positively manipulate it, where you play something strategically when they're sleeping and put it beside their bed, or let it play in the room, because they'll wake up in a better mood than they usually do. And that's what I did. I did it to my family. So take charge of your family, take charge of your household, take charge of yourself and your surroundings. Your roommate, is negative, or any energy around you, you can take accountability for your life and stop victimizing and blaming what's happening around you, and just start changing it. Just start changing it.
It was a hard topic for me to understand. And one of our uh, interesting coaching periods, I think it boiled up to what I ended up writing down in my notes, was something that boiled up, which was, when I've got a thought that's in my mind, I stop and just simply ask myself, what's the purpose of that thought? What's the thought? What is the purpose of that thought? And is it serving me? And if it wasn't serving me, I threw it out and I changed it and replaced it with a thought that was a positive thought, that was serving something for me.
What were you doing? What were you doing before you
Oh, the
learned?
worries, the worries. It was always the worries. I would go through a positive affirmation. I'd walk around the corner. I would see something and a trigger would go off. And the subconscious mind would just run away with that trigger. And before I knew it, the ego was running, the mind was running, and it was busy, 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 busy. And I was like, man, I don't know how to stop the busyness. And I kept complaining to you that busyness is not stopping. The negative mindset's not stopping. And you were like, well, what's it doing? What's it doing, Kyle? What's it doing for you? And that's how I got to that point of, you're right. I got to stop and think and look at what it is that I'm thinking about at the moment that I'm thinking about it, and ask myself, what is the point of that thought? And is that thought really doing me any good?
As human beings, we are consciously aware of our conscious thoughts. We can think of our own thoughts. While we're having a thought, we can actually use our awareness to think, is that serving us? Am I creating something that I don't want? Am I overthinking this? Am I self sabotaging this? My work day with my partner? Am I overthinking something about my child? Am I overthinking something about school, about work, about my business, about my life, about my career? And you can sit in that and think about what you're thinking and release it and take charge and ownership and accountability and shift the way you want things to happen, the way you want to think. Live in the awareness. You are the awareness. Be aware. Be mindful on a day to day basis. Just day two. The only practice you guys need to do is be present with who you are and what you are when you wake up in the morning. When you go to sleep, direct your mind and compel yourself for what you truly want to become and who you deserve to become and what you're trying to shift and change in your life. That's the message. That's all we're doing day one and day two. That's it for now. Don't worry about anything else. Just focus on this and start to rewire and fire all the new signals, all the new messaging. Start to listen to new stuff. You know, if you know that all you do is listen to hardcore rap or rock or music, and you're not really doing anything for yourself or your higher self, and you're just on autopilot, understand that you purposely, strategically have to change your daily habits. You got to alter the way you are thinking and the way you're feeling. Raise your vibration. Understand that you are divine, you are love. Forgive the people around you, even if it's hard. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. I know it's very difficult to be in that place of trying to truly stop condemning and blaming, living in this resistance, and we want to justify and protect, but we don't need to protect our ego. You're actually a bigger person if you can surrender and bow down and say sorry and be the first person to be the shift and be the change. You're actually become the wiser. You're becoming the bigger person. You don't have to be the lesser. You don't have to stoop down to someone's level to raise your voice if someone's raising their voice, or to compete or combat with somebody. You don't have to. You could sit in that awareness and be like, you know what? I choose not to. You're not worth it. Don't say it to their face, but know that they're not worth it for you to bow or drop down to their level, or to fight back, or to justify, or to protect, or to try to prove yourself. You don't have to. Live in that awareness and that knowing, and go through the feelings and understandings. Contemplate what these emotions mean. Start to contemplate, okay? And regulate it for yourself. Don't have to take action on your feelings. You don't have to get compelled by an emotion. Sit in it and know that you're the awareness. You are the awareness. Your soul is here. Okay? Start to enjoy it. Start to untaint it. All right.
I totally agree. You know, I told you when we got into this part of my coaching that I realized that I didn't know how to surrender. You told me to surrender on that first day, to let go of everything, have my open mind, be open to everything and attached to nothing. And it took me a while to really, truly understand what that meant. And I have to be honest, I didn't start to feel what surrendering was until I got to the point of playing affirmations and going through the day. Because as I was doing that, I was becoming stronger and stronger every day. And as I became stronger, I was able to release. I was able to forgive. I was
Because
able to surrender those thoughts. And you were telling me, well, Kyle, you were living a fraudulent life because you were allowing your ego and your mind to take over. And I said, well, what do you mean by I was living a fraudulent life? It actually upset me when you said it, because I was like, I'm not living a fraudulent life. Of course not. And you said, well, listen to what it is that you're saying. And what was going on at the time was I was complaining about, it's really hard to practice something when there's a bunch of people that are around you that aren't really there. They're not doing the same thing. They don't have the same mindset. And you said, stop. You said, if you're going to sit there and protect yourself and protect them, then you're actually being fraudulent with who you are. It starts from inside you. And if you change, you will change everything around you. You kept telling me that. And it took me a while to really understand it, but I didn't understand it until I started doing it. And so I think, something that I want to make sure gets put across is the importance of the practice. You kept telling me if you're going to do it, you have to do the work. If you want it, you have to do the work. And it doesn't matter what's around you or who's around you, you just do the work. And it's the work that I kept doing that created, then started manifesting actually the result that I was expecting, the result that I was receiving, the result that I needed and wanted truly deeply down inside. And I think that that was a very astonishing and powerful moment for me, because that's when it started. That's when the light started going off of, oh my God, I am actually manifesting my existence and my existence around those people that are around me. And I'm not trying to change them and I'm not trying to protect them. I'm trying to be honest and truthful with myself.
Let's talk
No,
about this for a second, Kyle. Is what you tended to do. You started to debate with your ego and your pride, and you wanted to get things done. You just kept trying to command and demand and pray and hope and get better and do these affirmations. So you were challenging what you had to do, what you want to do to get better, but you were also dealing with the ego mind and the frustrations of the washing machine, the subconscious thoughts, and the overthinking, and you were trying to do the work all at the same time. And you had to release, and that's what people do. Don't debate with your ego mind, don't debate with your emotions and your thoughts, because that's not what you are, that's not who you are. Let that go and surrender, and just allow things to happen, allow things to come, allow the feelings and the emotions to come. Start to appreciate the emotions that you're going through and understand that you are the awareness, is what I told you, and appreciate that you have a choice to make. You don't have to get frustrated with yourself and your emotions, people. You don't have to get upset with the feelings and the emotions and what's draining you. You can differentiate what is serving me, what is not serving me. Am I the higher power? Am I the awareness? Yes, I am. This doesn't serve me. I let you go. And I live my life with ease and peace and harmony. And I just enjoy my days. And I do these practices without force, without it being a task. Don't overwhelm yourself with tasks and thinking, oh, I got all this already I'm doing. Now I got to do this, I got to do this. You go to the washroom, you brush your teeth, you use the toilet, you shower. When you shower, right? Yes, people shower. Well, why aren't you listening to something then? Why aren't you praying and meditating and feeling all these amazing feelings while you're showering? Why aren't you sending signals and new patterns while you're showering? When you use the toilet, right? Yes. So why don't you play something or focus on your body and relax and digest and tell your nerves and your nervous system and your blood and your vessels and your brain and your stomach and your gut bacteria to relax. Take it easy, calm down, digest. Take your time, pray, meditate, do whatever you have to do. But we're mindlessly using the toilet, we're mindlessly showering, we're mindlessly brushing our teeth, looking at our hair, doing our eyebrows, tweezing makeup, doing our hair, rushing out the door. We're not being present. We're not connecting to who we truly are. And what we're doing is we're distracting ourselves. We're living a fraudulent life. That's what we're talking about.
I want you to share something. I'm going to point something out. Where I'm at, we get these ridiculous phone calls all the time. And the phone calls is the trigger for me because, I'm so worried about getting scammed or upset the fact that scammers are calling and they're hurting people and, taking their money and all this other kind of thing. And I said a off color remark, and you stopped me and you said, what did you just say? Right. And I said, such and such. And I didn't even think the second time when you said, what did you say? And I said, such and such. Right. I didn't even think about what I was saying. It was just an automatic response.
Programs from how you're raised, how you're brought up, how your parents used to speak, grandparents, the world.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
So we started talking about people. And I was telling you about the time where I had to go to the bank and there was a guy that was down on the corner. And I thought right? I thought at the time when I was telling you what I was telling you, I was like, I felt sorry for the guy and I loved the guy, frustrated that he has to be there. And you stopped me dead cold and you said, nope, that's your ego. That's fraudulent life. Don't you understand that that person is the same as you are? That that person has the same power as you are? It is their experience, it is their life that they are living. Why don't you walk me through what you did with me, right? I'll remind you a little bit because you may not remember. But you were telling me about approaching the beggar. You talked about it a little bit yesterday, but it was your mindset and how you explained talking to that beggar. I think it's important for us when we have, maybe even family members, roommates, whatever, that might be around us that are negative and they're just negative, 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 negative. And we're trying to be positive and we're trying to raise our vibrations up. And we've got this negativity there. How would you suggest that someone deals with that negativity being in the proper mindset? That makes sense?
Yeah, I would, what I told you on that day was in the moment and it came from source. And I get messages like that that compel me to teach in the moment. So the moment's not here right now, but when we prejudge, we don't think of the circumstance. We think of our thought process and our perception. Our perception is just an illusion because there could be 1,000 different perceptions and opinions on the same perception that you're having. It's how you look at things. So I told you, well, you don't know if he's happy. You don't know if he's unhappy. You don't know if that's what he wants. You don't know if he needs your sympathy or empathy. You don't know where he's at. Why are you doing that in your mind? Why are you going through the emotions and feeling sorry and pity and this and that and getting upset and angry that you wish the world was better and change and all this? And why are you doing that? And that's what people tend to do. They think they're being compassionate and caring and of service by looking at someone and prejudging, preoccupying our mind. That is not compassion. That's not empathy. That's just our perception and our judgment. So, what I said was just to understand your emotions and feelings in the moment. And now that trigger. Now you're the awareness. So now when you walk around and another trigger comes, sit in that feeling and know it in advance. Know it in advance and start to understand that that is not your true potential. That's not your true self to go into the thoughts and the emotions of feeling bad or thinking or judging who he is and how he is and what he needs to do and all that. That's not your place. That's his place. Let him live his life and you live your life. I just was trying to separate you from the thoughts that you were having. And that's what people tend to do. We tend to judge and preoccupy our mind. And we have to get away from that. You
Can
know,
we can we do that, Malcolm, when we're being attacked by um, you know, I'm at a workplace, right? I got a colleague. That colleague is just attacking me. Or I'm at home and a family member is attacking me. I'm being ridiculed by somebody in the family, or I'm being put down. Maybe my spouse is being put down, or maybe you know what I'm saying? How,
absolutely.
what do we do in that case? What do we do and how do we maintain the respect that they deserve and maintain the respect that we deserve?
That's just simply called, their language and your language. It's maybe not necessarily a love language in that moment, but it's just knowing your higher self and knowing yourself well enough and your emotions well enough to disengage from the argument, disengage from how they're putting you down. Maybe look at them different. Try to think of compassion. Try to think that maybe they're low vibing in the moment. Maybe think of something where you can look at it from a different lens. You know, take your awareness and use your awareness. I used to be able to tap out of my body and my mind and separate the spirit mind, my awareness, and look in on arguments and look at myself for who I was as a body and mind and the person I was arguing with. And I would look at that image from outside of myself and come back in and just understand that, wow, I'm present. I know I can decide and choose to get frantic, upset, aggressive, angry, or I can sit there and choose to smile, put something on the TV and ignore it, or choose to talk about it in a different way. Try to regulate your emotions and just change the way you communicate. And this was massive for me, especially in my relationship, because I used to reciprocate the energy and I used to challenge it and make it worse. And I used to become worse. And it makes the other person worse. It doesn't make anyone higher or better. And even if you get advice, oh, one person has to drop their ego, someone should always surrender and bow down to the significant other, sometimes that doesn't work. What works is sometimes breathing, walking away, taking 5 deep breaths in, breathing in, understanding. I understand that I'm angry. I understand that this hurts. I understand that I feel pissed off right now. Fuck this asshole. Fuck this bitch. Whatever you want to say, or if you're a loving, generous person and you don't talk like that, that's awesome. And just express how you feel and understand and appreciate yourself. Then you say, does this serve me? No, I let it go. So when you breathe out, you let go of the anger. You breathe in peace and joy. That mud, that frustration, so many beautiful, beautiful, beautiful things grow out of mud, out of dirt. Beautiful plants and trees and seeds and flowers. So that mud, that anger and that bitterness that we have inside, we can let it sit for a second and learn to shift that energy to understanding, and then compassion, and then self-love. And then when we do that, we could turn around and look at that person and be like, talk to them with a higher power, because we are learning to love ourselves, we're learning to have inner peace, and it will just shift and change, and they will learn. We don't have to go around teaching everybody the way. They will find their own way. But that's what I can say on that.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to the next slide. All right, so I have a surprise for everybody. Tomorrow, I'm doing an event. I'm doing a big, what do you call it? An exercise. I call it Guided Intelligence Mirror Talk. We're going to find out our true authentic self. We're going to uncover our fraudulence, our self-identity, our self-image, who we are and what we are. Please come prepared. Kyle is going to reiterate everything, but I just want to say is we have to be vulnerable to get over it. We have to be uncomfortable and be comfortable being uncomfortable to be able to break through all of these blocks that we're having. Whether you think you're overconfident and you're like, I got this, and yeah, I'm proud of myself, I'm a businesswoman. That is just your ego. What I want you guys to do is surrender, let it go. And we're going to do something fun tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be unveiling, and it's going to be the best part of tomorrow. So Kyle, why don't you express this?
Yeah, this was an astonishing event, and it continues to be an astonishing event. I don't want to get too much into it. We're kind of getting close to running out of time tonight anyway, so I don't want to exhaust everybody with it. But I want to say you need to get a portable mirror for tomorrow. If you're listening to us on your phone or a tablet, and you can, take that into the bathroom so that you can get behind a mirror so that you can see your entire body. Because there's a part to this where we need to relax with our hands down to our sides and just enjoy and forgive ourselves and let go. If you are using a PC and you have, computer, that kind of a thing, if you've got a portable mirror, that will be fine. Bring the portable mirror. The larger, the better, because the more that you can see of your reflection, the better off it will be. And the most important thing is you need to be able to hear Malcolm as he goes through this practice. You've got to hear word for word. So you want to make sure that you can turn your device up loud enough so that you can hear them.
I need to know that I'm instructing you properly, I'm guiding you and teaching you properly. So have your cameras turned on. I wanted to say this before we end the call, but if you guys have the courage in you right now, this is a challenge, and I love to see how many of you are willing to just turn on your cameras. How many people right now are in a place in their life where they don't have to hide behind a camera? If you could turn on your camera, that's what we expect for this exercise for tomorrow. We expect you to have your cameras turned on. So I know that you're doing it correctly. Otherwise, I can't be guiding people. I can't be guiding people that have their cameras turned off. So if anyone can turn on their camera, please turn on their camera and at least say hi, and just turn it on, turn it off. That will give us the idea that you guys are open for joining us in this exercise tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And there's a few people chatting in the chat box. I don't know if people have questions.
We'll take a peek at what, head on over to the next slide. We'll take a peek, see what you've got there. Let's see. That's a good question. You know, how do you know that you're receiving something? How do you know that you're going to get what you're asking for? How are you going to make sure, or how do you know that's being manifested? I think Malcolm kind of touched on it pretty well.
Let
You're
me
not
answer
asking.
that. Let me
You're not.
answer that.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about the how. You That's not your job. That's up to the universe. That's up to source, that's up to God, that's up to your higher power. That's up to your subconscious mind to make it happen. You don't have to worry on a day-to-day basis, well, how do I know this is going to happen? Why, what, where, when? The best part about this life is that you can let it go and trust and have faith that you know it's coming. Live with a trust. That's how you know. You have to know something is coming because you trust yourself enough to believe that it's going to happen. That's how you know. You have to believe it before you see it. How did I know? I didn't know that I was going to get whatever I got in life. I didn't know I was going to start to attract all the things that I started to attract in real time because I did it anyways. What you're asking is what I'm telling you is you just have to know it and believe it. That's the best part. The best part is to trust and to give the unknowing to God. Give it away and say, this is on you. Release these overwhelming thoughts and how do I know kind of stuff. And I just want to live in this trust and feeling and knowing and this high vibe and do these routines. And that's when things will start to come your way and doors will start to open. That's how you know. There's nothing that you can grab unless you can believe it and see it in your mind. If you can grab it in your mind, you know you've touched it. You will touch it in reality. This life is, we're creating realities. It's not hard. You have to understand that we are creating and we are allowing people to come to us. When you walk into a room and you send a signal of attraction and someone across the room can feel your energy, that attraction, that's part of it. That's part of the power. When you give an energy, a feeling, stay away from me, and someone, obviously, they're not going to come up to you because you're giving off that vibe. That's a part of it. That's part of the how. That's part of the knowing. When you send these signals and that trust that you place your order of life, you know it's coming. You did, you gave out that energy. Now live that energy and don't get in the way. Get out of the way. We tend to get in the way a lot of our own life. Get out of the way and allow things to flow and allow things to happen. And now, Kyle, you can finish
Well, there's one more
articulating.
question. There's one more question that was asked. Um, what do you do when you're in an atmosphere, when you're in an environment that is prohibiting you from being in the space that you want to be in, or prohibiting you from being able to play affirmations or something like that? What do you do when you're in an environment and that environment's got you contained?
What I personally did is I did it anyways. I did it anyways, and I would do it on my spare time, on my alone time. I made this an oath to myself. I sacrificed it to myself, and I would just put on headphones, or I would, take a chance. I would just do it anyways. I would not allow somebody else's energy to hinder my growth. You came into this earth alone, you're going to leave alone. And you have to understand that nobody's gonna make you or break you. You're gonna make you or break you. So don't allow somebody to get in the way of your energy. You have to be able to set boundaries. You have to be able to get away from people. You got to be specific. I need to know more of that context. Like, they're not allowing you to play positive stuff. Are they just constantly yelling? If things like that is happening, you have to have an ultimatum. And in life, sometimes we have to step away from something. And if they don't want the same growth and same change, then they're not gonna reciprocate it. You guys aren't meant to be, or it's not gonna happen. But you have to make a change. If you're gonna go to counseling for yourself, go to counseling for yourself. And if that person's meant to be, or someone's meant to be in your life, mother, cousin, whatever, they're gonna change for the better just by seeing you getting better. But if they're not, they're not meant to be. And you can still continue persevering and growing. Just do what you gotta do and keep growing for you. Just try your best. Try your best, but reach out to me personally, DM me or message me, so then I can give you some personal information. It would be great to dive deeper into this and break it down. But I hope that helps, Kyle.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Okay, if you'll go to the next slide, Malcolm, and I appreciate you and your time that you gave us tonight. I need to go ahead and wrap this up. We're getting close to the end of the evening, and I want to do a quick summary with everyone. Okay, we've heard a lot in the last 2 days. Yesterday we were told Malcolm died, went to the other side, came back, and we're all living souls in a physical existence. That was a pretty big deal. Now, he also told us when we get ready to go to bed in the evening to quiet ourselves down and to do our evening ritual or practice, telling our subconscious mind what we wanted to do, play some nighttime reprogramming types of things to help reprogram the self-consciousness. And that's so important to do that, because as you reprogram your self-conscious, that arguing that you have in your brain will go away. It will be replaced with positive messages and affirmations. Now he says, okay, when we do that in the morning, when we first get up in the morning and we're first aware, we've got to become aware that we're aware. And we have to be full of gratitude and appreciate the fact that we're here having a physical existence. And at that time, we begin to start our positive affirmations to ourselves for the day. Now, one of the tools that he's suggesting to use is playing binary frequencies throughout the day, playing frequencies in the morning that fills us with positive affirmations of success, of feeling loved, of feeling whatever it is that we need. We shared some of those with you onto the Telegram channel, some of the various frequencies that you can listen to, some of the tunes that you can pick out. And of course, there's many others out there. You just have to go into Google or your favorite browser and search for those types of things. We also talked about, when you're getting ready for your day, to keep your mind focused on the enjoyment of being alive and being aware of who you really are, and continue with those frequencies. It's so important to start training your subconscious mind and start training your conscious mind on how to be positive to yourself, because we are being bombarded by negative messages from everywhere. And so we need to bombard our self-conscious and our internal mind to help it combat those negative things that we're going to see and hear. We're also supposed to be mindful as we go through our day. When we feel our ego pop in, when we have a negative trigger going off or a response that we are responding to, if something happens and it upsets us, if someone says something to us, if someone hurts us in a negative way and it sets us off, it can set us backwards. And we don't want to go backwards. We want to appreciate what's going on and accept what's going on in a loving way. So if you have something that happens to you, if you say, wow, I'm learning that we don't have a physical life and then die and go someplace to be judged, but we're actually that soul now just having a physical existence, someone might make fun of you. And if they do, that's okay. Give them love and give them understanding and work on yourself. As you work on yourself, your change will start to change your environment and change the people around you. When we pray, when we talk to our higher source, don't beg. If you're begging, you're asking for nothing. Instead, envision and demand and receive that which you're asking for. Get in a receiving mode. Expect the answer. Malcolm likes to use the idea that you order something, it's been ordered, and you don't even give it a second thought. It's just coming to you. That is the way that manifestation and receiving works. If you don't change the message of what you want to receive, you're going to continue to receive and manifest what you have around you. So if you want to receive and grow and get those things in life that you want, visualize them, accept them, receive them, know you're going to get them. He talks about going to a neighborhood that maybe you want to live in, or going around and looking at the car that you want. That is so powerful, because what that's doing is it's telling your inner being, your self-conscious mind, that that is what you're trying to attain. And you'll do what it takes to be able to attain it. The inner being, when it asks Source for what it wants, Source will materialize it. It's our job as being aware, conscious individuals to allow us to receive those things that we do want. Keep your palms up. Feel the energy coming into your hands. Feel your hands tingle. It might feel like an itchy. It kind of does feel itchy as I'm doing it now, because I want all of you to receive love from me and understanding from me, to know that you really, truly are as powerful because you are from the Creator. So that's what I want to close on. We also want to remind you to be early tomorrow. We're keeping the meeting doors open so that people who have to come in late can still get in. We've kind of pulled back a little bit on our rules, but we're doing that because we encourage all of you to show up. I appreciate the questions that are coming in. Malcolm loves to have some demand. Okay, it's getting ready to be 10:30. I'm getting messages, hey, we need to wrap this up. So I just want to say good night. Continue to practice. We're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at 9:30. It's mirror day. Go find your mirrors and get ready.